episode number 418.
Look at it always as a sender, as a publisher. How do you want to be written to? Do you want to know that the person that is writing the email is writing to 10,000 other people? Not really. And you might send it to 10,000 people,
right?
But one person's reading it at a time.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, you know your boy is always fired up, ready to bring you some fuego in your days, nights, weekends, or whenever you are listening to this show today. But after this show, folks, I think you're going to want to think about how you as a small business owner or an agency that's helping business owners take advantage of making your life easier, running your business with ease, helping you reach your goals faster using, obviously, let's be real, email, landing pages, automation, and making it easy for the end result user to do these things. Because let's be real, that's the end thing that seems time and time again since I started my social media business is I can't get this done. It's too hard. There's too many things. There's too many issues. And that might be a user issue, right? Let's get into that, my man. But we're bringing you our guest, Mr. Tom Kulzer. Tom, are you ready to be real?
I am. Thanks for having me, Travis.
It is my pleasure, my dude. So you are the CEO and founder of Aweber, an incredible, useful tool for business owners. And I was looking at the LinkedIn. Has it been around like 23 years, 24 years in business now?
It has been a while, that's for sure.
Dude, that's incredible, brother. That is an incredible ride. So you were early on the train. Before we get into the business, kind of what you do for business, were you always an entrepreneur? Were you always selling things? Were you always creating things?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say creating things early on, but I was definitely that kid growing up that was shoveling snow and mowing lawns and raking leaves and that sort of thing. My grandfather had an excavation business that he'd started himself. Gotcha. My mom and dad ran a garment factory, like a sewing factory for a while. So they were kind of some entrepreneurial stuff as well there. So
absolutely.
So it was kind of like it's a little in your blood, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, people always forget, like my dad's an accountant. Accountants are entrepreneurs. Although they have to do your taxes, they also have to run their business, scale the business, grow just like any other business. And some go to become H&R Block and some become just a really great local business. Either way, they're still entrepreneurs. Absolutely. A lot of times we forget that. Even the local gardener is an entrepreneur, or the pool service, anybody. I always tell everyone, you're all in sales, folks, because the second you get your degree or high school diploma or whatever that is, obviously a lot of trade schools and things like that, hey, you got to go sell yourself into that job.
Absolutely.
You're not guaranteed that. You got to go find ways and tactics to get the job, interviews, build relationships. And obviously, let's just be real, present yourself the best you can, which is selling. And it's not really a lot. It's just presenting maybe the facts or presenting in some situations, you're figuring out what the issue is or the problem a lot of times with the business is and trying to provide a solution. And so that leads me into your business, which obviously all great businesses that been around for 24 years, folks, are great businesses. Talk to me about the idea of like when this first started. What was the idea for you?
Well, it was ultimately solving problems. So I was selling wireless modems back before we all had iPhones and such in our pockets. So we were still on dial-up modems back in the day. And to be able to connect to the internet wirelessly was like a big new thing. So I was going to a trade show. I was at college, and it was something that I could kind of rep on my own. So I was going to computer shows and those kind of geeky places to sell this like new tech.
Right. And were you selling to businesses and stuff like that? Like, and salespeople and stuff like that as they're on the go and they need that?
Yeah. And like truckers and all of that, like all these folks that like you take for granted the fact that we have internet now in our pockets, but we didn't then.
Right. And they depend on it because that's part of their job. They're on the road and they need that. And let's be real. They got the money to
it was a competitive advantage then because most places didn't have access to that kind of stuff. Every track didn't, have fleet tracking and all of those sort of things that they do now. Right. So just being able to give periodic updates easily, over the internet was a leaps and bounds better than like making phone calls or sending text messages. And
that makes sense. Even competitive advantage, just like updating your customer about where their package is at or whatever, all the processes that you can deal with.
Yeah. So you had the moral of the story with that was I was was getting a lot of inbound leads, and
Right.
I needed to follow up with those people. And most follow-up, was done manually back in the day, or all of it was done manually. And after a while, you do that long enough and you realize most of the questions that people ask are the same questions over and over again, because most people are having similar problems.
Right. Like the top 3 questions. It's always like those top 3, top 5 questions, right?
Exactly. Or people won't ask them. They're afraid to, but like they really need to know. So I wrote a little program that automated a few emails that when somebody had asked, I'd met them at a conference or when I was out, representing the product, and people would give me their email address and stuff and say, hey, send me more information. I would put them on this list that would send them more information, and then it would kind of periodically follow up with them, ask them some questions about what they'd already seen, give them some more kind of Q&A as far as things that I had put out there. Hey, when people typically get this email, they ask these additional questions. Here they are ahead of time in case you were thinking of them.
They're being on the forefront, and obviously at that time no one was doing that.
Yeah, no one was doing that. So during that process, I met lots of other business people that had their own sales follow-up processes, and they needed to communicate to people about different subjects. And ultimately AWeber was born out of that, because I realized like, hey, all these people keep coming to me asking me if they can have this program. Maybe I should sell that.
Hey, they say like some of the best businesses, which I always believe the best businesses, folks, in my opinion, are bootstrapped. You bootstrapped it, meaning that you created for yourself, that prove the testimony, if you want to call it, prove the value, show the success, and then easily be able to then say, hey, I can help you, Mr. Any other business out there with your problem.
Well, I solved my own problem, and then a whole bunch of other people recognized that I solved that problem and said, I have that same problem.
Yes.
So it just became it became kind of self-fulfilling, and
So were you the first were you the first salesperson then? Just like what was the first step of like selling the service? Or obviously you already had built some of these inbound relationships, so you maybe already were able to just kind of talk to them about it, I guess.
Yeah, I had, there were a bunch of different ways, but yeah, I was the first salesperson. When you start a company, like you're all of the functions. So I was engineering, marketing, PR, customer service. So, which gives you that full picture of what's going on there. But, if I went back 24 years, one of my biggest mistakes was probably not hiring people soon enough to come join the team. I did everything myself for too long.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing, because even though you're more profitable, you're bound by your own time constraints.
Yep, exactly. So, and it's a balance, it's getting to that comfort level of like, okay, I have revenue that I know I can support somebody else. And then it's also that like early entrepreneur aspect of like, well, how do I hire someone? That seems complicated. That seems risky. Yeah. Like now
20 years ago, it was a little easier than it even is now, because there's although there's easier ways to hire people, there's more competitiveness now, I would say.
Yeah, I would say it's easier. It was easier to hire somebody now than it is then, because there's the tools to be able to hire people now. Like I can outsource payroll really easily now. Right. Now I could outsource payroll relatively easily back then, but like even getting things like merchant accounts.
Oh yeah.
To be able, like you can pop over to PayPal or
so many different ways, tools and businesses that basically help support your business.
Yeah, exactly. So
and
like
scale it.
I was starting this stuff before Google even existed. So things have changed. Bro. This is
who was your first like set of like sales targets, or who did you want to like really impact first when you first hit the gate running?
Yeah, for us, for me, like it was more people like me. We've never really sold into like big enterprise businesses. Most of the businesses we sell into are small businesses,
right?
Because it's usually sole proprietors or 5 to small 20, teams. Maybe 30 people, where it's a dedicated like one person that's typically managing that component of it, or a very small team,
right?
Because we can I don't know. I get a lot more passion and drive out of like directly being able to talk to someone and have an impact on their life, which then impacts somebody else, versus like, oh, I'm going to the buying committee, and the buying committee presents to somebody else that presents to somebody else. And your end user is actually 3 layers removed from who you ever get to even talk to.
Never even know you.
And it's like, it exists and there's a market for it. And but it's like, it's just not that exciting to me and interesting. And so we've always kind of gone down that road where we have a much more direct impact on who we're working with. And it seems to
they need the
well
service. They need the service. It's a vital service for them. The follow-ups are real. It takes a lot of time. And the more things you can do to automate it and use flow and all these different things that you can do now with triggering, emails and things, it's just incredible. And if you're not even learning about it, folks, you got to start learning about it. It's my main thing. I happened to me in my eBay business as we were posting a lot of cards. We're like, hey, there's thousands of cards we have here that it doesn't take enough time to kind of post because there was a lot of manpower to that. So we figured, hey, let's go do some YouTube searching. And next thing you know, we find an AI software. It scans the cards and then it lists, like somewhat lists the card for you. Nice. It's saving hundreds of hours of time in manpower time, as well as then obviously bringing more profit to those cards that we can now say, okay, we can sell at $1, $2, because a lot of the sweet spot on eBay sales on a sports card business is that smaller end item. And obviously recession proof too. Obviously you count on maybe that bigger $1,000, $100, $200 sale, but the actual gross volume of a lot of sales are that $1 to $5 player that people just like and they can afford. And, anyone, whether they're 16, 100 or whatever, can kind of afford $1 or $2, so.
Yeah, it's the long tail aspect of that.
It is. It's just like the hard part is the hard part is getting that thing listed, so having, it's the same thing in this business, following up with people, getting back to people. It's the same kind of process that, hey, sometimes the manpower alone won't allow you to do this if you don't have technology and software. So I just commend you, my dude, because you probably help businesses make millions and millions of dollars in follow-ups over these years, as well as yourself, millions and millions of dollars for your business and your team and, being able to see the team grow. What are some of the hotspot categories of businesses that you seem to resonate with it, besides just small businesses, that like any types of industries or anything outside of that too?
We definitely serve across all different functions.
Right.
We do a lot of like e-commerce oriented folks. We do a lot of kind of the creator, social, like
the influencers and stuff like that.
Yeah, the social like the YouTube stars and Twitter, because a lot of those platforms are walled gardens, much in the way like AOL was back in the day, where you don't own your subscriber audience. Right. So being able to curate an email list so that when you post a new YouTube video out there, you can automate sending an email out to your subscribers that like, hey, I've got this new YouTube video, go check it out. And it has a multitude of good things about it. One, it's another place that you can monetize and sell sponsorships into it. Two, it's you own your audience now. But three, like you're essentially feeding the YouTube algorithm in the sense that like you're sending this organic traffic that they're seeing coming to the links as interested in this, so that when the YouTube algorithm kind of looks at like who they're going to show at the top of somebody's stack of videos that they're scrolling through, your videos are more likely to be seen by more of your subscribers and more people outside of your subscriber base,
new people,
which kind of, it feeds the beast, as we like to say, for getting those additional folks to view those things, which continues to grow your YouTube audience, continues to grow your email list, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all of that can be pretty much completely automated, which is super cool. So
the like in the publishing business and things like that, they like want minimums on numbers, and a lot of them they want 50,000 emails, 50,000 social following, or they have some metrics that they kind of figured out that maybe in their brains in the back end, that's what works to sell the books, and I think it's the combination. Although running a social media business for many years, every time I tell people gmail.com is my number one site, because that's where everything's happening. And that's my email, and so if you don't have that relationship outside of having these other places too, and not leveraging the social to get the email, to get this, and vice versa, like you said, when you publish a new video, you're pushing it out and saying, hey guys, let us know, or or a lot of times, customers don't even do these things. And so you're missing out on thousands of possible opportunities just to educate people, let people know, inform them, ask questions like you say, and many things like you said. A lot of times the biggest thing is with the algorithms now, they all want that new inbound traffic. It seems like time and time again, that's why even like on our personal website, more and more other companies are trying to embed a blog with a backlink to their website it's more and more becoming more and more of a big thing to do because everyone wants that inbound traffic from other sources and other sites, and it's becoming more important. But email is the number one thing that you can use. I mean, as long as you don't email someone 100 times a day, gets me into the next sweet spot. What is the sweet spot on the email repetition? I'm curious.
On the frequency,
on frequency.
I'll answer it with an answer and a non-answer at the same time. It's whatever you tell people you're going to send them. Gotcha. And the most important thing about the email is setting expectations up front. So like if I go to your website and I sign up and I think, I'm going to get a monthly newsletter from them, and then you start emailing me every day, what am I going to do? I'm going to be annoyed, and I'm going to either delete it every time or mark it as spam or unsubscribe. So whereas if I tell you up front, hey, I'm going to email you 100 times a day.
Yes.
If you're sending me, the latest, greatest
useful
stock
stuff.
Tips or something that's going to really benefit me 100 times a day,
you signed up for it,
man.
Right.
Send away.
That makes
sense.
100
times a day, and I only think I'm going to get one email a day or one email a week. Like you're just fraught with.
It's vice versa. So don't set the expectation up front then when you're going to collect, guys.
Absolutely, and it's similar with the content too, because a lot of common ways to get people to opt in is like, hey, I'm going to send you this ebook, give you this download.
Right.
And a lot of people, they'll give you a fake email address because they think that they're going to get to download on the next page. So the key there is also making sure that you're sending it in the email and you're telling people that it's going to be in the email. So you get a real email. But two, if you're planning on sending people a weekly newsletter, a monthly newsletter, a quarterly newsletter after they download your ebook, make sure you're telling them up front, because when they download your ebook and they get that in one email, any emails after that are not emails that they're expecting, and they're likely to be upset about that.
Like, so why did you send me this stuff?
Be transparent with people and set appropriate expectations. And I think in the long run, you'll have better results. You might not get that short-term burst that you think you would, but like in the long run, email is similar in many ways to some of the social stuff with regards to engagement. If I have 1,000 people on my list and only 5 of them actually open and engage with my email, the other 995 are telling the Google and others like, hey, I don't really want your email.
Right.
So then eventually the smaller portion of your list, you're going to get filtered, and nobody's going to end up seeing it. So it's about curating those lists and making sure that you're setting appropriate expectations with people to get the best results.
Right. That makes the most sense, guys. This is someone that's seen a lot of emails, folks. So my man knows.
Billions and billions and billions.
I was about to say, you've been seeing billions of emails over the last 20 years. What about headlines, man? Is there a certain appropriate lines of headlines? Sometimes you see people with the real bold headlines. Sometimes you see like people put the whole information in there. I mean, is there a sweet spot on headlines too? Because I feel like headlines are kind of like news stories or clickbait of YouTube titles now. And in a way, just to get you to kind of engage, get you to check out the story. If I have a catchy headline, I might engage with just the headline just to see. 90% of marketers believe podcasts are going to blow up in the next 20 years. Oh, I'm interested in that. Just because the headline, there might be a lot of other content in that email that's not related to that headline, but they catch you on that headline. Is there a sweet spot on that?
Yeah, it's funny. I was just having this conversation with another user this morning. Some of the best headlines are the most boring headlines, like where it's like a publication name and then like an issue number or an issue date. And you think about that and it's like, well, why is that the most engaged? And it's because the user is expecting it at a certain date and time usually. So when they get it, they open it right away. And it's something that they're looking forward to and they recognize the same time versus like if you're doing, kind of the clickbaity subject lines or other things, they might not recognize that it's coming from you if they're just scanning subject lines. Like they might recognize your name or your business name, but like if they might not recognize it as easily if they both have your business name and like the publication or some more static subject line that they expect. That's not to say that
it makes sense. That really does make sense.
Yeah, that's not to say that works for everybody. If your content is different, catch people with a hook. Like the clickbaity stuff, like it works. Now, where I would say that like clickbait type stuff that you'll see people doing in emails where they'll do the like forward, FWD colon whatever, or the RE colon whatever. Like, don't play games with that kind of stuff, because you might, if you split test that, you might get a boost in engagement, but it's temporary, because as you do that, you're blowing all of your users' trust. So the next time they get an email from you, they're going to be like, oh, this guy again, and he's trying to trick me. He thinks I'm a moron, and he's writing back to something that I wrote him. Like, that's look at it always as a sender, as a publisher. How do you filter your inbox? Content. How do you look at your content? How do you want to be written to? Do you want to know that the person that is writing the email is writing to 10,000 other people? Not really.
Kind of want to feel personal. You kind of want to feel a little personal
proof to it, but write to me, because when you write an email, and you might send it to 10,000 people or 1,000 people or even 100 people, but one person's reading it at a time. Whether you're doing it on your computer, you're doing it on your phone, or whatever else.
Same with social, guys. Same with social. One person's reading the post on the other end.
Absolutely. So speak to them, speak to their problems, and you're much more likely to have good results in the long run. Don't try to trick people, because eventually they'll pull a trick on you, and they'll either mark them as spam or unsubscribe.
We'll never see you again.
Those are not good. Unsubscribe is good. The mark as spam is bad. And just hitting delete every time they get an email from you is bad too, because over time, those turn into people that aren't engaged, and you go to the spam folder.
Like the algorithm on Facebook or Instagram, the less you engage with the post, the more likely you'll never see them again. Ever. We're going to filter you out of here. Well, dude, I appreciate all your knowledge. Now we're about to take you, my man, into our top 10. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Apple or Android?
Oh, Apple.
Apple, Netflix or YouTube?
Oh, both.
Let's go. Too much diversity. Netflix is just becoming a beast with that content, man.
I like them both. I spend a fair amount of time with both. In downtime, it goes either way.
I can learn so much on YouTube. Like, there's just so much learning that you can have on YouTube, and interviews and long tail conversations and things that you can kind of do while you're working. And then on Netflix, there's just so much cool content that you never thought you would ever see before. They're just constantly uploading new stuff. And I think Netflix is going to become very, very more profitable with this new ad model too, because I think a lot of people are sharing passwords, and I think there's probably more views than they're counting, and they could probably at least monetize it a little more, like any good ad platform, right? Like where they can make a little money, like Facebook, Meta.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope it doesn't turn into an ad C, but
I think it's going to be opt-in based on if you are,
depending on what plan you're on.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Like we said, we kind of actually, I love YouTube, the Red or whatever it is. You pay $10 a month and never see ads. We love no ads. I think Facebook would actually make a lot of money just doing no ad platform, $10 a month or whatever it is, and you never see any ads.
Eventually, I
think eventually they might do that. If there's enough people with this iPhone update with the Apple thing, it did mess up some stuff with the ads. I know it did, because my own business. I know for sure. Getting into social, Instagram or Facebook, which one is your favorite?
Neither.
You're on LinkedIn though, my man, right? LinkedIn for the
I am on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook, but I don't do much of anything there anymore.
For sure. Yeah, I think as the time fades, you become less enticed to go to the platform. I even run a social media business, and I'm on there with client stuff, and then after that, I'm like, I'm out of here, man.
I'm not on there for any personal reasons anymore.
Right.
The reason I'm on Facebook anymore is for business communities that I'm a part of there.
Awesome. And if you think about a good meal, chicken or steak, which one are you thinking about?
Probably steak.
Steak! Laptop or smartphone if you had to hit the door right now?
Smartphone.
Smartphone! Spotify or Pandora?
Spotify.
Spotify! Movies or video games?
Movies.
Movies! Reading books or listening to books?
Gosh, I should do more of both, but I'd probably go with reading.
Reading, get the physical book, baby. Get the physical book. Nothing like the physical book. Market it.
They're often digital. They're often digital, but
digital books too. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, either one, you can still gift a digital book too, folks.
Because I've always got my phone. The book's always there.
Nothing like that. Nothing like that. And then on Audible, they got the 1x speed or whatever it is, 1.5x speed, and you can just speed it up a little bit. If you're thinking about diversifying portfolios in the business, for you personally, stocks or real estate?
Stocks,
baby. Give me that liquid. It's a good time to be buying right now consistently, I think. Even though it's been a tough time, just slowly, especially if you haven't invested. I unfortunately have a lot of invested, so I'm kind of like playing it a little bit like, okay, I'm going to just see how things keep going here. But I also took a lot of money off the table because I'm constantly, feeling like when things go up too much, you got to take a little cream off that latte, baby.
Yeah.
But it's a good time to be patient, especially if you've never.
When I look back over 20 some years, it's always a good time to be investing because it's even at its highest, it's always going to go higher eventually.
Dude, you just said it right there. You just said it, my folks.
If you have a short timeline, maybe then think about it, but you probably shouldn't be in stocks if you have a short timeline.
Exactly. If you think anyone that like literally runs a business too, I always tell them like, take a little bit of your money and put it outside the business in like stocks and stuff like that too, because these companies are working for you. They're in different industries than you. And if your industry goes down a little bit, you have these to protect you. And let's just be real. Some of these things could go really high, and you could get really lucky, or you just have that other safety net instead of having more employees, more inventory. Sometimes companies are getting bogged down by this stuff right now. We've seen this right now, right? Companies bought a lot of inventory. They don't need it. I see right now my customer's biggest problem, can't get people to show up to work. They're hiring. We're doing employment ads constantly on social media. Hey, run this employment ad, run this employment. Never before in history have I ever done this. It was always, Tom, sales. We need more sales. We need this. Now it's, hey, we need employees to show up. We need people to come. We need new employees. When we launch a new restaurant, we have to have cooks and hostesses and these people that are infrastructure of the business. Robots have not automated these things yet, And so until that happens, I think there'll be need ways to use even email to find employees, find other creative ways. Have a friend tell a friend, create a referral program.
Absolutely. We have a mailing list for recruiting.
Bam, there you go.
If you don't have a subscribe form on your recruiting page so that people that are interested in your business can hear about new opportunities, you're missing a key opportunity to attract, just to attract potential folks.
On your employment page, you're saying, or like on your
absolutely. We have several thousand people that have inquired to get updates from us over the years.
I saw that on your website.
Mail. Yeah,
dude, that's a good strategy, guys.
It's something that a lot of places overlook, and can be a really key place to hire people that are already engaged with, know about your business, and want to work there. But at the time when they were interested, you just didn't have a position that's open. So why would you not want to capture that interest and communicate with them in the future?
Yeah, instead of going to a headhunter, $20K to hire somebody. I mean, some of this stuff is crazy when you really think about it. And then, like you said, these are your hottest leads. These are the people that want to work with you. You just didn't have the spot open for them,
Absolutely.
And follow up with them, keep in touch with them, and nurture them, like you said, so that they know a lot more about you. And then maybe, hey, Tom, all of a sudden has 10 more new service opportunities available that he didn't have yet last year. And what do you know? 1,000 hot leads.
Even on your topic of like hiring and working with folks, like we use a lot of automated email to train new team members, because you can't just dump an encyclopedia of information on somebody when they first start, but you can train them over the course of, many weeks and days and months and so forth as they progressively get, more knowledge about the business to kind of drop that education on them. So like just doing email on internal stuff is really great, so that you would otherwise do manually. You can automate those processes as well.
Yeah, I always think that's some of the biggest fruit that's not been taken advantage of, if you want to call it, right? Fruit that's on the floor is your own team members, letting them know, hey, share this post on social. Hey, go to our social media and share it. If you get any post on Facebook or any of these platforms to get 200 shares, there's a chance for you to go viral. And most businesses, some of them bigger, have 200 employees that are willing to share it. They just don't have a process of updating them, letting them know, maybe incentivizing, having a little reward program, or having some sort of contest that, whoever shares his post gets a chance to have a week off, or I don't know. You know what I mean? We've come up with a couple of these fun ideas, but using it internally. I think that's a great idea, Tom, is more businesses to use internal. I love the idea too, my man, of on your employment pages, folks, having a subscribe button. Let's go. Last couple questions for you, my dude. If you were to take a vacation today, where would you want to go? Oceans or lakes?
Lakes.
Let's go. What lake are you going to go to right now?
Probably Winnipesaukee, because I'm already on the lake.
Wow, nice. What are you going to do up there? What do you do on the lake? What do you like to do on the lake?
Sailing, wakeboarding, wake surfing, kayaking. I do some sculling, so I do a little bit of everything on the.
You enjoy the outdoors.
I love the outdoors. So
that's awesome.
I have some of my best ideas when I'm not in front of a computer.
Right, when you're with nature, with your not thinking about the business either, maybe.
Yeah,
putting in work in life. Right.
Exactly. Work hard, play hard.
I love that, dude. Too many times we forget how much we can get inspired. They say Elon Musk gets his best ideas in the shower, right? So that's a place where you're not distracted. Him, he's very busy. The second he probably wakes up out of his shower, a million things to do. So the shower for him maybe is his only place. I got 20 minutes to myself, no kids, no, nothing. And maybe that's where his shower is your kayaking, if you want to call it.
I'm going to try not to have Musk in the shower in my head now.
No, Musk. No hairy-ass Musk. Let's go. When you're waking up for your day, though, and you're pumped, energized, ready to start your day, why do you love being you, Tom?
Why do I love being me? Wow, that's a really hard question.
It is a hard
question. I don't know. I think because I'm kind of the master of my own destiny, like I make deliberate decisions each day on where I'm going to go next. And I think that that's really rewarding over the course of many years. So I don't know.
Small decisions every day into a huge success, like the snowball of Warren Buffett's story.
Yeah, just I think we're all masters of our own destiny, and we too often are undercut ourselves with the decisions that we make each day. So like you have to wake up and make deliberate decisions on what's next that's going to get you to where you're going to go. And it's not like this big giant goal. It's the like, okay, what are the 100 steps that I need to go from here to over there? Well, okay, let's start at number 1 and kind of go from there.
Step 1, do step 1 today.
And I very much love like just being able to knock those things out. And I feel like I'm pretty good at that.
Oh, of course you are, brother. So, you built an incredible business for yourself. You can see it in your mojo, your energy, your vibe. And most importantly, let's just be real. This is just scraping the surface, dude. More and more businesses are still just barely taking this for real. You know what I mean? Like I still think there's probably 60% or more businesses that can use digital email and they still haven't fully adopted it yet,
Absolutely.
I don't know fully, but I mean, there's just so many more.
No, there's huge opportunity there. Across the spectrum.
Absolutely. Do you think you'll ever retire from the business, retire from the game of entrepreneurship?
No.
Keep in the game. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett to the end, baby. We're rolling.
I think it changes over the years, but I don't know. It's just when it's kind of in your veins, it's hard to get rid of that, and you're always going to be having it. Will my daily involvement be the same forever? No, definitely not. But I think I'm always going to have some sort of an impact there because it's part of what feeds who I am. So
the entrepreneur's blood, baby. We love being in the game, and if we were out playing golf all day, we'd be bored. We need to give us some challenges. Give us some hardship. Let's go.
We'll play some golf and do some work.
Absolutely,
so they don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Exactly. I always say that to entrepreneurs too, that or anyone, you should live a little piece of your retirement today because we all don't know when our days are going to be. Don't go crazy, but live a little piece of that retirement today. Do the splurge, do the thing you wanted to do because why not? You can always make it up on the back end.
I often get that like, oh, I can't leave my business or I can't take a vacation. And it's like, okay, what's the worst thing that would happen if you took a work week off? Like, that's probably a problem you should work on because if something stops happening because you're gone for a week, like you need to fix that. Like that should be your biggest investment.
That should be your biggest investment. You worry about new customers. You should worry about that.
So if you can identify that up front and fix that, but then you actually have to go away for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks is even better.
To see if it works.
Because when you come back, that list of things that went wrong is now something that you can work on making better. And you'll never get that list until you actually go away for a week. And I guarantee you, whatever you think is the most terrible thing that could possibly happen, it won't actually happen and probably couldn't happen. And even if it did, your team's probably going to figure it out anyway.
Right.
So my team, when I first did that, we ran through this exercise and we whiteboarded like, what's the worst case scenario?
Right.
And my team came up with like, well, what happens if the building catches on fire? And I'm like, I'm not the fire department.
Fireman.
You're not going to call me. What are you going to do with that? And they're like, well, what if we need new computers? I was like, go buy some new ones.
Dell.com, wherever you guys got to go. Apple.com.
But like the things that your team is afraid of, like that's a great exercise to work through with people. So
like you said, then you create another whole system based on those challenges that you had.
It becomes a decision-making matrix that allows your team to execute without you in a way that is still in line with your, like when we all talk about like culture as a business, like to me, culture isn't like the business perks that you give out. It's not free food and
insurance,
all that kind of stuff.
Right.
To me, it's the the process for which our team makes decisions without like a managerial input, that we all are kind of thinking along the same veins. We all apply the same morality and ethics to how we make decisions, and we're able to execute those individually, but as a group in a consistent way.
Dude, that's incredible, dude. So, that's how the businesses grow. That's how the businesses grow. That's the only way the businesses grow. Otherwise, Tom would not be the same if it was just my man Tom. What are
exactly?
Or you'd be really stressed out.
I'd have a lot less hair than I already do.
No sleep, baby. Team no sleep for real, for real. Do you have a routine on starting your day?
Oatmeal, blueberries, and orange juice, and then I usually lately I've been rowing in the morning.
Ooh, so nice. I love rowing.
Whether it's actually out on the lake or a rower. It gets the blood flowing, gets you moving for the day.
How far will you row? What's your normal row? Do you track the distance? I usually do 2,000 meters, nothing too crazy, like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it depends like effort wise, but I'm usually like a half an hour to 45 minutes is what I've been doing these days.
It's a great workout, really, dude.
Yeah, it's a hell of like when I first started doing it was like 5-10 minutes, and I'm like,
right,
how do people do this for half an hour?
Yeah, dude, it's a great workout.
But it's truly a full body workout, gets you going, cardio, get some muscles going, get you good and sweaty, and then you can get on with your day. So go have your 20-minute shower, Elon Musk time.
Right, you get your 20-minute shower to come up with your next big idea, and then we're ready to go, baby.
Exactly.
Is there a skill you're trying to master right now, Tom? Is there something you're trying to get better at, perfect, work on?
It's probably not the answer you're looking for. Wake surf 360s.
Let's go. Tell us about what's wake surf 360s.
So you do it behind a ski boat, and you're wake surfing behind it on a little surfboard, and then you basically spin around.
Will you let go of the
you've already let go of the rope. Part of wake surfing when you get going with it is like you're actually surfing a wave like you would in the ocean. You're just doing it behind a boat. And you don't actually need the wave you don't need the rope because it's real slow.
You're kind of using that like a momentum. I've seen my buddies out here they do that out here in Central California, going crazy on the thing.
Exactly. So being able to do a little 360 and keep going. So
let's go.
Haven't quite got that one dialed yet.
We're getting that in a few weeks. Within practice, we got this.
I've been trying for a couple of years. It hasn't clicked.
God damn it! Let's go, God. We got my boy. He's coming. The universe is coming. My guy's gonna hit it. He's gonna feel like a god out there on the lake. It's so. Besides that, you like just mastering things that are outside of the business.
Absolutely. So there's always something new. So we just
challenge yourself, baby. Learn something new. I always think that one's like the Zuckerberg out there. What's he doing? Like the his board that just automated. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the e-foil.
The e-foil, e-foil. Those are kind of cool, man. He's out there.
They are cool.
Zuckerberg is going to own the most land in Kauai. He's going to eventually turn Kauai into Zuckland.
I don't think the locals like that, but
I know, bro. But he's buying we were there like for a honeymoon. They were talking about how he's been buying like any available property he's buying. Because obviously he's got the money, but he's got there on the e-foil, hitting it up on the e-foil. That's cool, man. The technology is amazing, dude. It's incredible. Who would have thought 20 years you'd be hitting the e-foil? If you could sit down tonight for a steak dinner, who would you want to chop it up with?
Oh, that's off the top of my head, probably Bill Gates.
Let's go.
Interesting dinner.
Heck yeah, dude. Incredible. People always have all the speculation and all that stuff like that, but I always say this. The dude is literally like putting part of his life to like give back to humanity. And like, how could you not see like the good in like what someone's trying to do in that? And obviously that comes with a lot of all the other stuff, especially during the pandemic thing. But when you look at the end result, there's so many other people that are just buying another Bugatti and stacking up more things. And his mission has become bigger than that. And then secondly, a guy like Warren Buffett, who's pretty damn smart about his money, is literally going to be giving most of it, if not all of it, to the foundation. So he's obviously done a little due diligence, I like to say. And that makes me also feel really good about the whole Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But I think that's incredible. We can help change the world, man. Let's just be real. Resources and assets like that can absolutely change the world if placed correctly. Placed correctly. Yeah. But talk about someone that's gone through tons of things in his business and seen it grow and scale. And now they just talked about Microsoft helping launch the Netflix platform, the ad platform. Because because Microsoft was instrumental in the Facebook platform. I mean, they were instrumental in getting that thing to where it is, you know. And the only thing I always find is that now they've gotten really smart with their acquisitions. Microsoft, it seems like there was a day there they were like buying Bing, and they were just buying a bunch of things, and they were just I don't know. I really don't know.
You're never successful with every venture that you take. You gotta have losers in order to have some winners. So
right. You can't hit
the way it goes sometimes.
And make that. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely. When you take venture, there's like nine swings, and you get the one grand slam, and that pays for the 100 swings you could have took.
Yep. Yeah. What's the old famous Gretzky quote? You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
The best.
So
the best. My boy Gretzky right there. My boy. Yeah, Bill Gates would be fascinating, dude. I think he would be incredible. I think he'd be very interesting to talk to too about all the challenges he's seen and what his new goals are. You know, I mean, because obviously you hear things here and there, but I always like just listening to people like that because they've obviously built incredible success amongst tons of challenges and hardships and they were antitrust stuff and all sorts of crazy stuff and. But still on the other end of it, you know, it changed the world. Let's just be real. Microsoft has changed the world. Microsoft, Google, Excel. Come on, Excel. Get beyond the computing platform. These things are mind blowing. What they can do for you. I mean, as far as business owner, productivity, worksheets, taxes, everything. It's incredible. Last question for you, my dude. Is there a book that you either reread or sticks to your soul? Something you gravitate to that you kind of like? I love this book, or
Robert Cialdini's The Psychology of Persuasion.
Ooh, that's probably a good one.
I've read that book like 4 or 5 times.
That's a good one.
So
dude.
I recommend it to pretty much all of our staff constantly.
That's a really good one, dude. It's incredible that we life is persuasion, baby. We're all being persuaded in different ways, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but we have to also own that and constantly learn from it because there's so much learning out there. Where can people learn more about the business? I mean, we could send them to the website, I'm sure, but is there any other special places to send them? I think it's aweber.com, folks, aweber.com. But I definitely suggest you guys sign up because I think you guys can start growing today for free, right? For free?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a free plan up to 500 subscribers.
Dude, take advantage of that today, folks. That's an incredible value.
If you don't have an opt-in form on your site, you should have a way for people to sign up. So, regardless of what platform you use, I hope you pick Aweber, but you put some sort of an opt-in form on there. Even if you've got 1 million social followers on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, you don't own those audiences. They could go away tomorrow.
Right.
When someone opts in to hear from you via email, you have their email address. You can communicate with them from any platform. So not just Aweber. So just start collecting those subscribers today.
That's awesome. You're giving that plan option to 500. That's quite a good value, to be transparent with you, because in a world of software is trying to nickel and dime you for every single account. I mean, 500 is a good amount for people to start. You build the following, and then obviously you can only go from there. So that's amazing. Aweber.com. Tom, dude, I appreciate you, brother. I know the challenges of running business have been got to be incredible, dude, after 23 years, but you look younger than ever, my dude. And we're just scratching the surface on email. I think I've been hearing it more and more from my agencies, to be transparent with you, which gives me the sense that it's coming from their businesses saying, we got to take this more seriously. And in this world of like all different kind of like not knowing exactly where to place your money, I think they're starting to place the value in email more,
Yeah, everybody went social because it was easy and free, and then they recognized the drawbacks of it. Yeah,
nothing's free, baby.
Nope, no, it is not.
You got 1 million followers. Well, you want to reach 1% of them? Well, that's $100. You want to reach 2%? I have $200. Oh, you want to reach 0% of them? Oh, well, you can give you that for free, but
yeah, pretty much.
Well, the truth is this, like you said, that was the play then, and it's still the play, but it's combinations. It's always been that medium mix, right? For all the marketing, it's this medium mix. But I'm telling you, I feel like it's on the top of the tongue lately more and more. So I continue to think your business is in a good place because the agencies, business owners, they all just need to find more efficiency in their marketing. And this is the most efficient one. The most efficient. Collect emails, distribute. Collect emails, distribute. It's the most efficient. It makes you don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to spend $100,000, $1,000 a month on a media campaign that might not work. Figure it out. And I say always, like I said, anything, record, test, promote, because everything we do in marketing is a test, right? Like I feel like everything's a test. And if you don't try it, go check out right now, guys, ableupper.com. And we'll put it in the show notes too for you guys. Tom, my man, I appreciate you folks. You've been hanging out with my man, Tom Kulzer, and Travis, Too Tall and Huff. We want to thank you again for your time today. And let's keep being real.
What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today. We're all going through a lot right now. And Real-Time Outsource, my business, is giving back to local and small businesses. Through our social media services and campaigns, we are actually helping small businesses get more exposure during these times, and also when we get through these times. At the end of the day, we don't know how long this is all going to last, but most importantly, you got to think about your business right now and take it seriously. So come check us out at realtimeoutsource.com, and we would love for you to qualify and get the process started where we can take a look at your business and see if we can qualify you for some of our services. At little to no cost for most of the businesses, and some businesses, you're going to have to pay, but that's just part of life, right? But most importantly is that I think this is the time, folks, that you can actually help thrive in your business. And so I would love to help you personally with our team. We're all going through a tough time right now. So take advantage of us. realtimeoutsource.com. Check us out. And we would love to do some business with you and help you with your social and digital media in 2020 and beyond.